Welcome, everyone. This has been always, I met Sue at a conference who actually presented on the gap between trauma informed and trauma responsive. And I said to her, let's co-facilitate a thought leadership on getting, thought leaders like yourself together, because I think at this time in our history, we have done such a great job with the ACEs study as a catalyst to get communities to a trauma-informed level like never before. My own community in Livingston, Montana had somebody from the ACEs community come and help our police officers, firemen, school teachers, many people where we had special leadership meetings, and everybody left with empowerment because people were speaking the same trauma-informed language. Resonate with you in your practice that sometimes there is that tension point between what is trauma-informed, what is trauma-responsive, and that people are more open to this, but they're not sure sometimes a roadmap. Has that been your experience as well?
That is true. And what you said earlier actually is the reason for that is there is no common language.
I mean, I think the conversation isn't happening, or I'm not involved in where I run what's a community interest company, so a not-for-profit organization that provides trauma training, and we write recovery programs based on a trauma model. But I don't think we're having in the UK that conversation about definitions, because we still don't even know what we're doing about
it.
It
might be clumsy and awkward. My hope is that I work with folks like Michael or anyone that wants to volunteer, and we'll put together some kind of white paper, something that says, this is a work in progress, but these are the golden nuggets that we came from this meeting. So I just don't agree in meeting for the sake of
trauma informed as more of that educational perspective, as teaching folks how trauma impacts. So teaching about past experiences, current experiences of trauma, but how they impact you in the present. And that being more the universal, anyone in an organization should understand some of those basic concepts of what trauma is, how it impacts individuals, and the potential of re-traumatizing.
When you're starting to move from education to action, the level of responsibility goes up. Because if I'm educating you on something, it's lower level, right? But if I'm now applying it to treatment, even in the hospital, when my wife was having heart surgery, we could see a lay person on education around the heart surgery. But when we were starting to move into the application of the actual surgical techniques, we had to have the highest level doctor explain what was going to happen. How is this knowledge going to be applied? And if we did not have that distinction and only had education around the heart defect, we would have been in big trouble.
Current level of training is not sufficient for people to become trauma integrated practitioners without having appropriate systemic training and understanding secondary trauma and the recursiveness of trauma as opposed to the linear nature that most people think of trauma.
And if we generate interest, we can have more thought leaderships where we can move on from common language to how are we going to apply this. It can really be something special as we go on. So I would just want to personally say thank you.